Testing sound for video. Testing sound from Zoom. Test. Yes. Oh. Oh my God.
She's a lot of time ago, but
Yes. Fine. I'm fine. I'm still working. I'm a registered nurse. I'm still working. And the health I had was helping out with Gail was at home. And shopping.
we talked about transition.
Yeah, she needed it. She had a bed. She pulled out of bed. Oh, I yelled at her because it was like, she bruised all over the place. It's like, what can you just say? And she didn't want to be a bother. I'll be okay. I'll see you always in the morning. So I got her in bed and I took her. I didn't want to go out with the so I took her to an emergency center. And they said, she's got no idea. Oh, yeah. She told me it was nothing. Yeah. Then if Steve is going to be remember that. Steve was on something. She fell out of sick. No, she fell sick. Yeah, she didn't tell me about it. I called her. And someone was coming in that morning. I told Steve, I said, go to the house. Get yourself settled. I said, we're still in emergency. There's nothing to do here. Just take your time about coming down. And sit here for a while. They're going to miss you out. Yeah, it was just actually okay. But she wouldn't. She was not. I mean, I just, Steve, I told her she and the mind is sharp and she's tracked her own body. She can't really, like, went to the house, she stretched out in the house. I was telling you, as I said, I was more relieved that she was absent. Oh, she is focused on something. Right now, I'm sitting here looking at her. It's like she's looking right at me. Yeah.
He sold his house, and I sold my house, and bought a house on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was her place.
Right, close to Richland, because we're not going to, I just 7, 8, 10. So it's like, walk, it just, the street just comes with work at this.
Are you still working too? You still work IT?
So, and then he goes Arizona, as his son lives there. And we're going there.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, one time.
That's how I went to nursery was 47. Yeah, I was in a
I know two people. Oh, and it's sad. His son works at the mall.
But it's, I mean, I just, I had the experience, this was in 2002, this is checking that kind of bus. And, even if I went to college, I got a great Arizona, I was in the right field. That's right through the college. And,
Then for my birthday,
sister was one of the
she's paying for me and my daughter herself.
So I had,
What?
this was that I had the calling, that's,
My
you know
sister.
what, I really appreciate it.
Because I've never been where my father was born.
Because I would ask,
Well, we're starting
I
out.
would just ask her so much.
And then
She didn't know just
there's a car picking us up at the airport.
so that I would even tell her. I was just asking that for her. I don't want your answer.
And that's close to where my father was born in Fort Johnson, so we're gonna go there. He's taking us there.
It's not good luck to him.
Him in that section. And then we're gonna go to Florence. And then, yeah, my mother's family.
Sure.
It's called Senegalia.
Oh, absolutely nothing. I still nothing.
So I don't know what we're doing with that.
It's still after the first.
That's not
Yeah.
I'm going to. So, next time.
Nicely.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
We'll talk again.
Absolutely.
She only has herself. She's not married. She has two children.
Uh-huh.
How you been?
I remember when we were emails together.
Gail. Her friend Marilyn. And Willie. Yeah, Willie and Rob, you know. So, yes, she's on down deep. Actually, she's here on down deep. She wasn't there.
Give me 1 sec.
So I was meeting people who are keeping track all the time. So,
have your attention, please? We are about to begin our service. I will ask that everyone please take a moment to turn your cell phones either off or to their silent mode. Conducting our service today is Rabbi Michael Sullivan.
Yes, I know. I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. The protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and coming now and forever. Our writings teach us that a woman of strength, beauty, and kindness, who can find? She's more precious than fine gems. Her family loves and depends on her, and so they lack nothing. She does good by them, never harm all the days of her life. She perceives that her labor is rewarding. Her candle burns on into the night. She reaches out to those in need and extends her hands to everyone. She is clothed in strength and dignity. She faces the future cheerfully. She speaks with wisdom. The law of kindness is on her lips. Her children rise up and bless her. Her family entire sing her praises. Many daughters and ungodly, but you excel them all. In our sadness, we celebrate a life well lived. Gail Silverman lived the best life she knew how in her 83 years, struggling with her health for many years while fighting to maintain her independence and sense of humor the whole way. There's never enough time with those we love most in the world. This moment comes for all of us, when we must grieve for our loss, while remembering all that was good of our loved one, to bring us some comfort in our time of grief. Gail loves spending her life surrounded by friends and family, watching you create new life and make the world a better place. Daughter of Herman and Mary, both of blessed memory, loving mother to Stephen, Catherine, and Mark, sister of Richard of blessed memory, loving grandmother of Sloan, Peyton, Alexa, and Dakota. May you remember Gail in her strength and in her best moments, and for her love of all of you. A poet wrote, "Well, the years have passed, and my eyes have seen so much. Time has flowed slowly and quickly, the eternal river that it is. I've watched so many of you go from young to old, and wondered how you all could grow so, while I remain so young within this old frame, harboring all of my precious memories and thoughts. Gold are the memories of laughter and celebrations. Diamonds are those moments I watched you all flourish and help bring new life into this world. Beyond precious remain those instants surrounded by all of your noise and tussle as we lived life to the very edge of amazement. You've allowed me to paint my blessings in colors of brightness and merriment. Shed no tears for my life lived so well, just remembering with a smile at all we shared." The Birds made popular these ancient words of Ecclesiastes when they sang that there was a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. And I would speak of Gail's incredible life as he called her son Stephen to speak of his mom.
this snow. People live streaming, and everybody's reached out to me on social media, email, text, and phone. It really means a lot to me that you're thinking of my mom. I also want to thank the entire staff of Brighton Gardens Assisted Living Facility, where my mom spent the last 5 months. They were amazing. Lutheran General Hospital, the various doctors, the courageous caregivers, Martha, Lacey, and the incredible Rocio that helped my mom through her illness. Without them, the fight would have been a little more difficult. I also want to thank Rich Kelly. He is amazing. He was there through thick and thin, dealing with my mom and her lists, and getting her groceries, but she couldn't get out. And also, Patricia Zermento, who welcomed my mom to New Jersey in such a way where she'd say, "Hello, my friend," and she'd bring a smile to my mom's face. Patricia forever is in my heart. Most importantly, I want to thank Catherine for her relentless efforts to make my mom's life so special and fulfilled. She brought spiritual awareness, Colombian culture, exposed my mom to new foods like putting cheese in a cup of hot chocolate, countless meals at various restaurants, late night chats that would have everyone laughing so hard, the joy of a family, and numerous shopping sprees with my mom on my credit card. But that's it. My mom. She fought for my mom's happiness and spoiled her beyond words. She was the one my mom really grew to trust and respect. Funny story, we went shopping last holiday season. First time I spent the holidays with my mom in a long time. My mom was like a kid in a candy store, was buying everything for everybody, including herself. I'll take this, I'll take that. So my mom's favorite color is purple, as you can possibly tell. And I saw a purple shirt in Forever 21. I'll never forget this. And I said, "Mom, look, purple shirt, this is you. That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Put that away, get that out of my face." You know how my mom was, right?
Yeah.
Right to the point. Not 2 minutes later, Catherine picks it up and says, "Gail, what do you think? I love it. Let's buy that." And she not only bought it, but she wore it all the time. That was the relationship that Catherine had with my mom. It was priceless, beautiful, and one of a kind. Thank you. I looked up the most amazing mom in the world at Webster's dictionary. Usually went to the dictionary. This time I had to go to Google. And didn't come up with anything. So I know what I'm about to say about my mom isn't going to describe my feelings in the correct manner. So please accept my apologies. Growing up, my mom was the person who made big batches of chocolate chip cookies, led bike rides to Dairy Queen, was an amazing cook, but accommodated special meals for her picky son, and was always in my corner. We enjoyed summers on our boat in Lake Geneva, and then did dinner at RJ Grunt's. She welcomed my friends to always join our adventure. I remember one time, it was just me and my mom on the boat, and the water was like glass in Lake Geneva, which you never see that. It was like glass, and the water was like bath water. It was so warm. We drifted around the lake and stayed in the water most of the time. It was one of the best moments, and I'll never forget that time with my mom. My mom was my best friend, my heart, my soul. I put all my efforts and my focus into my mom, and she did the same for me. She taught me never to give up, and she was passionate in her words and her life. She was an amazing listener, and sometimes too good of a talker. Even when you didn't want to hear her opinion, however, she would give it to you, in anything. And generally she was right. Well, maybe she was always right. She was right. My mom and I shared the love of sweets and desserts. Her passion was ice cream, cheesecake, popcorn, the color purple, not the movie, but the color, and Mickey Mouse. She really got excited over McDonald's $1 cones. And she would ask, "It's still $1, right? It's still $1." She
She'd always want to get the ice cream. Growing up, she would hoard Marshall Field's mint chocolate meltaways in a green box. Remember when Marshall Field's, I'm dating myself again. She piled them in the freezer for whatever reason. I couldn't let this happen. So what I would do is I would go into the freezer and I would cut little holes in the bottom of the container. And I'd take out the chocolates and eat them. Put it back in the freezer, keep coming back for more like a little mouse. The freezer didn't stop me. One day we had company. You know, when people used to come over, instead of running away from the door, you used to run to, now you used to run through the door. You used to either give cake or chocolate. Well, she would go to her freezer in her chocolate vault and get a box. She said it felt light, but didn't think anything of it. When she unwrapped the box in front of the guests, she saw just an empty box full of white wrappers and couldn't believe her eyes that the chocolates had disappeared. Gazing at the box, she looked at me, thinking I was going to get the wrath of Gail. I was wrong. I got a big laugh, a shake of the head, and a hug from my mom. Another fond memory was when we would watch TV at night, and we would share a square or two of a Carmelo bar or Nestle's Crunch. Had to be the king size bar. The smaller bars didn't taste right, and we'd always take a little more. That was our sweet connection. My mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease over 20 years ago, and I remember her call when I was on a business trip like it was yesterday. It's a disease I knew nothing about, but quickly became an expert in how it affects a person, how it changes their lives. Seeing my mom fight this horrible disease that kept gaining momentum every time she got sick, it really progressed after she had breast cancer. But that didn't stop her. She kept battling to stay active and ahead of the disease. She was so brave in her fight, so focused on not giving up and not allowing things to slow her down. Each time I was in Chicago, we would go shopping with her many famous lists of things she needed. There was always a list. Couldn't figure it out. I'm coming to Chicago, Sarah. There's a list. You had to go shopping. And on that list was headed by two things, batteries and cookies. For whatever reason, she needed batteries. I didn't know they were all over the place. Each event was also followed by a meal. Candy was considered a meal. Ice cream was definitely a meal. Going to a different restaurant was a meal. The day would end with a hot cup of tea, cookies, and heartfelt conversation or a game of backgammon, where I think I'd usually win. I think I was up. She can't dispute me, so that's good. I was winning. I moved my mom to New Jersey exactly 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day when her passing, to care for her. 111. That's the sign of an angel. Together with Catherine, we redesigned a house that we didn't even move into. We purchased it, and we redesigned the home to accommodate my mom. From constructing a 1-floor bedroom, equipped with everything purple from sheets to pillows to drapes, with a hospital bed, making a fully handicapped accessible bathroom, putting in a chairlift, to a big TV so she can watch her old shows, to getting bedside snacks of licorice and cashews, and of course, the popcorn. She always had to have popcorn. To be honest, Catherine made it happen, not me. She fought tirelessly with contractors and made the vision become reality before my mom arrived, and she did it. In 5 weeks, she redesigned an old home and constructed it into a home that was so warm and loving and accommodating for my mom. In the short period of time my mom was in Jersey, she made a huge impression on everyone she came in contact with. It was magical how she would light up when she would meet a new person. That was another lesson, a lesson on being grateful. About 2 weeks before my mom passed, she told me that I've done everything I can ask for. And she apologized to me for being a burden. And she said, but most of all, I got this. most of all, I will miss you. Those words continue to echo in my head. I will miss you. That day was the beginning of the end of my mom's life. If I had to do it again, it would have been my honor to repeat the journey with her. As frustrating at times it would be, I would do it again. The day before my mom died, Catherine coordinated a goodbye. No one knew about the timing. Every time I'd ask, how is she doing? No one has a crystal ball. But Catherine, she coordinated a goodbye. The timing could not have been more perfect. She brought a spiritual leader to the care facility for a prayer. And then Catherine gave her a prayer that was so long that I'd asked her, what are you doing? It was in Spanish. I said, she says, just be quiet for 20 minutes. Anyone who knows me knows that that's a tough task. I can't keep quiet. And then my mom had an emotional FaceTime with my brother Mark. And finally, I had time alone with my mom, and that was emotional, heartfelt, and my final goodbye. Before we left, we put on spiritual music and kissed my mom, telling her that we would see her tomorrow. That was the plan. At 9:15 a.m. the next morning, on December 8th, I got a call that she had passed. It taught me a valuable lesson. To not count on waiting for tomorrow, as there might not be a tomorrow. It's one thing that not only I, but everybody should take with. To tell you I miss my mom would be a gross understatement. She was my superhero. The last months of her life were horrific to watch. The pain and the deterioration of a person's body, with a brain that was sharp as a tack. It brought me to tears every time I left her. I'm so sad that she's gone, but I'm relieved because of the pain that she endured. She's moved on to a better place without tremors, without pain. For me, I know that I got the best part of my mom, especially in that last year. 1 year, 1 month, 1 day. I'll never forget her unconditional love and her strong personality. God has a new angel in heaven, and that's my mom. The tremors are over. The countless pills have stopped. The constant doctor appointments have ended. The itching and the blisters all over her body have ceased. The squeezing of the blood pressure cuffs on her tender skin are done. It's time for my mom to stop about worrying about everything and about everybody else and rest. Rest in peace, my darling mother. Even though you are gone, you will live forever in my heart. My mindset is that she's not actually gone. It's just like a mantra that I'll see you later. In Hebrew, they say, Yehi Zerach Baruch, which translates to her memory being a blessing. She was a blessing to anyone who had a chance to meet her, and a gift if you have the ability to spend time with her. Rest in peace, Mom. I love you. Goodbye.
Thanks go to Steve and Kathy for sharing these memories with me about Gail. Gail was born in Madison, Wisconsin, and grew up with her family in Chicago after moving here with her family. She graduated from Ascent High School and attended the University of Illinois for a year. She and her college roommate, Sheila, remained friends her entire life. And of course, Roz Goodman and Gail were longtime neighbors and friends. After getting married, she loved bringing Mark and Stephen into the world in 1961 and 1965. Stephen described how when you were growing up, your mom would lead you and your friends around on bike rides. You and your friends would eat buckets of cookies your mom made for you all. You would come home and your friends would already be there talking to your mom and hanging out with her. She was just one of those moms. All your friends loved spending time with Gail. She made them feel seen and heard. She was nice to everyone. Such an amazing mother. Gail worked, starting in customer service for a packaging company, the Field Container Company, in an administrative role. Then she worked for W.W. Granger for a long time in credit collections. She She was proud of her work there. But Parkinson's forced her to retire. When she retired, she traveled to New Jersey once or twice a year until the disease caused her to be homebound. Gail was so good with business and loved talking about business. Stephen, she loved your success. You two were best friends. All her friends would say, Steve, she adores you. Gail had a brilliant mind, especially mathematically. Catherine, you described Gail as so protective, loving, and very organized. Of course, as Steve mentioned, she had lists for her lists. She was famous for her lists. She'd give lists to everyone and, of course, left behind lists. With the batteries and the cookies, she had batteries stashed everywhere for exactly when she needed them. Packs of batteries were always with her, stashed in her walker. Catherine, you became a daughter to Gail. She loved you so much, and you helped take such good care of Stephen. You made a home for all of you. You made it possible to take care of her for as long as possible. Gail was such an amazing individual, so incredibly lovable, stubborn, but lovable nonetheless. Despite the progression of Gail's Parkinson's disease that leads us to this moment, Gail cared about living life to its fullest all of her days. She cared about family and friends, the people around her. She loved being surrounded with everyone she loved in the world, especially during holiday gatherings. She loved Mickey Mouse, of course, ice cream, her cookies, and having enough batteries all the time. Even towards her end, you would ask her, do you want ice cream? And she would say yes, every day. It was the only thing she would eat. She loved it from start to end. Gail was a spiritual Jew. She would celebrate holidays, but always tell you, do what I say, not exactly what I do. I can eat Yom Kippur, but you can't. You have to eat Passover matzah, but not me. She loved having family surround her for holidays. Family was her spirituality, her Judaism. Catherine, Stephen expressed how you made the last year possible. You were the quarterback for the team, making sure everything was taken care of. Even in pain, Gail would put on a smile on. She loved to laugh. You and Gail would sit down at 11 p.m. and talk through the day and laugh in the middle of the night. She would tell you her stories and funny things. She would never complain about her illness, but she would get frustrated and tell you, I can do this, let me walk, I can do this. She always wanted to show strength. She was proud of her appearance and getting her nails done, having her makeup put on, looking just right. Of course, as you talk about, she loved going shopping, but she especially loved that you paid for it all. That's why she was a kid in the candy shop. What kept her alive was being afraid of what was going to happen to the two of you. And to Mark, to her friends, and those she loved the most. Catherine, she had you promise, if you take care of Stephen, I can go in peace. To the end, she was so loving. If you knew Gail, you loved her. She had such a heart, a tough exterior, but a soft heart, a loving heart, a kind heart. Gail showered you all with so much unconditional love. She would do anything for you, and you, of course, would do anything for her. In living, we all try to make the world a better place. We try to raise children that better the world, hoping they bring more children into the world. We try to make a difference wherever we go. You are all Gail's legacy. She loved sharing her life with you and sharing many laughs throughout the years. May we always remember the best of Gail and her strength and health. May her love live on in everyone who knew her. And may her memory always be a blessing, as she was such a blessing in your lives. The poet Merritt Malloy wrote, when I die, give what's left of me away to children and old people who wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother or sister walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We turn into our pamphlets and read together the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We rise for El Malay Rachamim, our memorial prayer. El Malay Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Am Sevinucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashpina, Im Kiroshim Torim, Kizohara Kiyamasivri, Et Nishmat Gail Bat Herman Bamei, Shalachal Olama, Baal Rachamim Yastereha, V'Seif Kanafal Olami, Vitor HaChaim and Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachlata, V'Tanuach B'Shalom, Al Mishkava V'Namar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Gail Silverman, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and bind her soul in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. We continue in the pamphlets with the mourner's cottage. Yikadal v'yikadash v'neirabah, Bialma v'vrach v'rteh v'yamlich v'achoteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedevor beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karim v'maru. Yehei shmei rabba v'varach le'olam v'lovei almaya, yitbarach yishtabach yitba'ar yitromam yitnaseh, v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei v'rusha v'richu, le'ela minchol v'erchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiram ve'oma v'maru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'maru, Amen. Oseh shalom v'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'maru, Amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and comfort to all bereaved. We say together, Amen. You can be seated, please.
Shiva will be private for the family. We'll ask that you all respect their needs and privacy at this time. The interment is going to take place at Waldheim Jewish Cemetery. We recommend that you enter off the Harlem Avenue entrance. That address is 1700 South Harlem Avenue in North Riverside. The address is available on your service folders. We do have them if you should need them. At this time, we are going to ask everyone to rise and stand in place. We are going to take the casket from the sanctuary. We will not be traveling in procession, rather meeting at the cemetery at about 1:15 for the interment. That is why we are announcing the address of the cemetery. At this time, I will ask for everyone to please rise and stand in place as we escort the casket from the sanctuary. are now concluded, and we'll ask for everyone to please return to your cars. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I don't know the name. They were,